She never thought a simple act of kindness would change her life forever. One quiet afternoon, in the middle of the company's busiest hour, a shy intern stepped forward to help someone no one else noticed, unaware that her every move was being watched by the company's CEO. What happened next turned her from just an intern into an inspiration for the entire office. Maya was a quiet, introverted intern at one of the city's biggest corporate offices, Harrington Enterprises. It was her second week, and she still felt invisible as the type of person who walked onto a room and blended into the background. She was polite, hardworking, and always on time, but she hardly ever spoke unless someone spoke to her first. Her supervisor once told her, "You're too quiet, Maya. People might not even notice you're here." And in a way, that was true until that day. That afternoon, the lobby was unusually busy. Clients came in and out, phones rang, and the receptionist struggled to handle everyone at once. Maya was filing documents when the glass doors opened, and a middle-aged man stepped in. He looked confused, holding a folder tightly in his hands. He moved his lips slightly, but no words came out. People at the front desk kept asking him questions. "Sir, are you here for an appointment? Do you have someone to meet?" But he didn't answer. It took Maya only a few seconds to realize what was happening. The man was deaf. She had learned sign language in college, just for fun, because her best friend's brother was hearing impaired. Without thinking twice, she left her desk and walked toward him. Her heart was racing, not from fear of the man, but from the dozens of eyes watching her cross the room. She smiled gently and signed, "Hello, can I help you?" The man's eyes widened in surprise, then softened in relief. His shoulders relaxed as he signed back, "Thank you. I'm here to deliver some documents for Mr. Harrington." I tried telling the lady at the desk, but she didn't understand. Maya nodded and replied in sign, "No problem, I'll take you there." She guided him to the elevator, chatting with him through her hands. Her movements were graceful yet humble, and for the first time, her silence didn't feel like a weakness. It felt powerful. Little did she know, from the top floor balcony, Mr. Edward Harrington, the CEO himself, was standing and watching the entire scene unfold. He had come down earlier for a meeting but paused when he noticed the commotion in the lobby. He saw how employees looked confused, how some ignored the visitor altogether, and then he saw Maya, the young intern he barely remembered hiring, now confidently communicating in a language few understood. Edward watched her smile as she helped the visitor find his way, and something stirred in his heart, admiration. When Maya returned to her desk, the other employees whispered. Some were impressed, some embarrassed they hadn't done anything. The receptionist muttered, "I didn't know she could do that." Maya just smiled shyly and went back to her papers, unaware that the CEO had called his assistant and said, "Find out who that intern is." Later that day, Maya was summoned to the CEO's office. Her hands trembled as she knocked on the door. Inside, Mr. Harrington greeted her warmly. "Please, come in, Maya." His voice was calm, but his eyes carried respect. "I saw what you did downstairs," he said. "Most people would have walked past that man, but you a broken bar." You stepped forward. "Why?" Maya hesitated. "Sir, I just a broken bar. I knew sign language." And he looked lost. "I thought maybe I could help." He smiled. "That's exactly the kind of person I want in this company, someone who sees people, not just problems." Her eyes widened. "Thank you, sir, but I'm just an intern." He leaned back in his chair. "Not anymore." A week later, Maya was officially offered a full-time position, not just as an assistant, but as part of a new accessibility initiative that Mr. Harrington launched. After that day, her act of kindness inspired the company to start programs for inclusivity, including training sessions on communication with differently abled clients and building accessible workspaces. But the story didn't end there. One morning, the same deaf visitor returned, at this time with a smile and a small gift. He signed, "You changed how people see me." "Thank you." Maya teared up. "No," she signed back, "you changed how they see kindness." Months passed, and Maya grew confident in her role. She was no longer the shy intern hiding behind a desk. She was the reason a company transformed. People admired her not for her words, but for her actions. A simple, genuine, human. The CEO often said in meetings, "It wasn't a policy that changed us, it was a moment, a small, quiet moment of compassion." Closing message: a emotional and inspiring ending. Sometimes, the most powerful people in the room are not the loudest ones. They're the ones who notice, who care, who act even when no one's watching. Maya didn't help for recognition, but her small act of kindness created ripples that reached far beyond what she could imagine. And as the CEO often reminded his staff afterward, you never know who's watching, so always choose kindness. Would you like me to break this story into 10 paragraph-wise prompts next, like for your video script format?